What if I told you that some of the biggest action movies of 2024 just vanished from Amazon Prime Video? But don't worry, Amazon Prime just refreshed its action movie lineup, and honestly, it's looking stacked. From high-speed chases to sci-fi shootouts, from crime thrillers to full-blown spy missions, this month's new additions have something for every action lover out there. What if you had to fight an alien invasion, and every time you died, you had to start all over again? Sounds like a nightmare, right? Well, for Major William Cage, it's not just a nightmare, it's his reality. In Edge of Tomorrow, Tom Cruise plays Cage, a soldier who has no business being on the battlefield, until he's forced into combat, dies almost immediately, and then wakes up, right back where he started, over and over again. Sounds like Groundhog Day, but with explosions, alien war machines, and Emily Blunt absolutely wrecking him every chance she gets. With its smart storytelling, intense action, and surprisingly funny moments, Edge of Tomorrow is one of the best sci-fi action movies of the last decade. If you haven't seen it, what are you waiting for? And if you have, maybe it's time to watch it one more time. What happens when you push the wrong man too far? In The Equalizer, Denzel Washington plays Robert McCall, a quiet, disciplined man who just wants to live a peaceful life. But here's the thing. Robert isn't just some ordinary guy, he's a former Black Ops operative with a very particular set of skills. And when the Russian mob threatens an innocent girl he's taken under his wing, McCall doesn't just fight back, he delivers justice. Denzel Washington brings pure, calculated intensity to this role, making Robert McCall one of the most compelling action heroes in years. I mean, it's like John Wick, but instead of an ex-hitman fueled by revenge, you've got a quiet, methodical man who fights for justice and always finishes the job. So, if you haven't seen The Equalizer, do yourself a favor, watch it. And if you have, well, maybe it's time to revisit the legend. What if James Bond traded in his tuxedo for a skateboard and a parachute? That's basically Triple X in a nutshell. Forget martinis and fancy gadgets, this is all about extreme sports, insane stunts, and Vin Diesel being an absolute beast. Vin plays Xander Cage, a thrill-seeking daredevil who gets recruited by the US government to go undercover and stop a Russian terrorist group. Because obviously when traditional spies fail, the next logical step is to send in a guy who jumps out of planes for fun. And honestly, it works. Triple X took the secret agent formula and flipped it on its head. No suave British spies, no government suits, just Vin Diesel doing what Vin Diesel does best, being a one-man wrecking crew with zero fear and a whole lot of attitude. So, is Triple X ridiculous? Absolutely, but that's exactly why it works. It's pure, unapologetic fun from start to finish. What do you think? Does Triple X deserve more love as an action classic? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Deadly assassins and entire government conspiracies, but what if his greatest enemy isn't even human? In Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, Tom Cruise's legendary super spy goes up against a villain he can't punch, kick, or shoot, an all-powerful AI known as the Entity. And unlike his past enemies, this one doesn't just outfight him, it outthinks him. But the stakes get even higher when a master thief named Grace, played by Hayley Atwell, gets tangled up in his mission. She's not exactly an ally, but she's also not the enemy. So what happens when someone as skilled as Ethan Hunt meets someone just as unpredictable? I guess with breathtaking action, mind-bending twists, and one of the most intelligent villains Ethan has ever faced, Dead Reckoning Part 1 is easily one of the best entries in the mission. But here's the thing, this is only half the story. The real battle is just beginning, and Part 2 is going to take things to an entirely new level. Is it really Christmas if Bruce Willis isn't crawling through air vents and taking down terrorists? Some say Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie, others say those people are wrong. But no matter where you stand on the debate, one thing is undeniable. This is one of the greatest action films of all time. Before Die Hard, action heroes were invincible, muscle-bound killing machines. Then came John McClane, barefoot, bleeding, and completely outnumbered. And somehow he still managed to take down a squad of heavily armed terrorists led by the legendary Hans Gruber. Explosions, epic one-liners, an unforgettable villain, and a hero who actually feels human. Die Hard is the perfect blend of action and suspense. What happens when the law isn't just enforcing justice, but delivering it on the spot? In Dredd, Karl Urban steps into the role of Judge Dredd, a relentless enforcer of the law in a dystopian future where crime is out of control. No courtroom, no jury, just one sentence, guilty or dead. And unlike the 1995 version, where Stallone spent most of the movie with his helmet off, this Dredd keeps things true to the comics. His face stays covered, his attitude stays cold, and his justice stays brutal. Forget big-budget CGI explosions. Dredd proves that all you need is a tight script, brutal action, and a lead actor who understands the character. Karl Urban doesn't just play Dredd, he is Dredd. No over-the-top speeches, no unnecessary drama, just a relentless force of justice with a gun, a mission, and zero patience for criminals. What happens when you steal from the wrong guy and leave him for dead? Well, if that guy is Mel Gibson in Payback, the answer is simple. You run. Because he's coming back and he's bringing hell with him. This isn't your typical hero's journey. Porter, played by Mel Gibson, isn't a good guy, he's a career criminal. But when his own partner double-crosses him, takes his money, and leaves him for dead, Porter decides he's getting his cut back, one bullet at a time. Payback is one of those revenge thrillers that doesn't hold your hand. It's gritty, brutal, and doesn't try to make Porter a hero. He's just the guy who happens to be less bad than the people he's taking down, and that's what makes it so fun to watch. What if the world's greatest hero wasn't dead, but just didn't want to be found? In Samaritan, Sylvester Stallone steps into the world of superheroes, but this isn't your typical cape and cowl blockbuster. Instead of flashy costumes and over-the-top CGI battles, we get a gritty, grounded take on the superhero mythos where the line between hero and villain isn't so clear. At the center of it all, a washed-up reluctant legend and a kid who refuses to give up on him. Samaritan isn't about saving the world. It's about redemption, second chances, and what it really means to be a hero. Is it perfect? The story plays it pretty safe and some twists you might see coming, but if you're looking for a gritty, action-packed superhero flick with a little more heart, it's worth the watch. Our next pick is Jolt, released in 2021. Kate Beckinsale plays Lindy Lewis, a woman with rage issues on steroids, literally. Thanks to a rare neurological condition, she flies into uncontrollable fits of violence at the slightest provocation. The only thing keeping her from tearing the world apart? An experimental shock vest that jolts her back to reality whenever she gets too aggressive. But when someone kills the only guy who ever made her feel normal, Lindy decides she's done suppressing her anger. Now she's on a mission to find out who did it and make them pay. Jolt doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's what makes it so much fun. It's fast, ridiculous, and completely unhinged. Just like its main character, Kate Beckinsale owns this role, delivering action, comedy, and pure chaotic energy all at once. If you love stylish, high-energy revenge thrillers, this one's worth the watch. How far would you go for revenge? In Tom Clancy's Without Remorse, Michael B. Jordan steps into the role of John Kelly, a battle-hardened Navy SEAL who loses everything: his team, his mission, and worst of all, his wife. But John isn't the kind of man to sit back and grieve. He's the kind of man who makes sure the people responsible pay in blood. Without Remorse brings Tom Clancy's signature military espionage to life with hard-hitting action and an electrifying performance from Michael B. Jordan. It's a revenge thriller at its core, but one that teases a bigger story, especially with the setup for John Kelly's transformation into John Clark, one of Clancy's most legendary operatives. And that's it for today's video. Let us know your favorite moments or picks in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more amazing content, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring, keep watching, and complete your watch list. See you in the next one.